Hi, it is Saturday morning, and it is time for Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with Tracy and Tigo Venturi. I said that so fast, Tracy.
You always do, but that's okay. We know what you're saying.
Yeah, we've been happily doing this show for many years. I think we're on show number 400. See, I lost track. 438, I believe we're at.
That sounds good. Sounds about right. Long time.
438 half hours of talking about real estate. You know, we come here every week. We talk about what's going on in the real estate market in Albuquerque, real estate market around the country, tips and tricks for home buyers, tips and tricks for home sellers, and happy to share it every week.
And we're on Kiva.
Yep.
Kiva Radio.
KIVA, 1600 AM, and rockoftalk.com. So happy to be here. Tracy, we kind of had a big week.
We did. We had some fun and exciting news this week.
Yeah.
So we always say Venturi Realty Group of, and now it's Venturi Realty Group of Real Broker. So we have switched brokerages to Real Broker, and it's been a fun week with that transition.
Yeah, it's change is always something. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's great. I think if nothing else, you grow out of it, you learn out of it, and we're looking forward to it. So it's a great opportunity for us to just continue our business and have some other tools that we may not have had in the past. So we're excited about that.
We are.
Now, okay, Tracy, we didn't prepare for this, but this past week was the GAR, which is the Greater Albuquerque Association of Realtors. Do you have it with you? You don't even
It's
have it
in
with
my
you.
office.
In your office. Greater Albuquerque Association of Realtors does, just like any association, they do an awards banquet every year and award different people for just what they've done. And there's a couple different awards. There's Realtor of the Year, there's Salesperson of the Year, there's Sales Manager of the Year, and there's a couple other awards. But Tracy was the recipient of Sales Manager of the Year for 2022. So congratulations to that. And the thing that's cool about that award, I'm going to talk because, it's hard for the recipient to talk about it. But the the thing that's cool about that award, it was people on our team that nominated her and, really spoke your praises on how you take care of business. So congratulations.
Thank you. It was quite a surprise at the award ceremony, because they don't tell you in advance you're an award winner. So
Yeah.
It was a surprise. And then you have to go up on stage in front of hundreds of realtors and vendors and affiliates and say something. And I was totally unprepared and not my usual ready to talk in front of people. But anyway, it was really an honor, and a lot of our team members were there, and I could tell they were really excited. So that was cool because it's really all about them.
Yeah.
So let's move on, Tigo. That's just kind of humbling.
The one big kind of news story this week, I think everybody's been paying attention to, is the bank stuff, right? What's been going on in the banking world. And all of that trickles, anything finance trickles into the housing world because, anything finance related affects mortgage rates. And so it was very interesting to see how this played out this week. And the short of it is mortgage rates kind of came down about 0.5 point in the last 10 days since everything, kind of broke a week ago with the bank stuff.
A week ago Friday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a lot has happened in a week.
A lot has happened in a week. We avoided, bank runs and, financial system meltdown. That's all that happened this week. But
it is a wonderful life.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing that was interesting about it, though, is, if you don't really pay attention to it or you're not really in tune with it, is mortgage rates actually went down during this time. And that was because people went to bonds. And bonds are what fund the mortgage-backed securities. And when the cost of bonds go down, so do the mortgage-backed securities, and the mortgage-backed security makes the mortgage rates go down. So anyway,
way too complicated.
I know.
For me.
I know.
All I want to know is what's my interest rate, and
so it is good news for home buyers. Mortgage rates have pulled back here in the last week after peaking out over 7. Now they're back in the mid 6s. So that's good news. And that's good news for home buyers, because we know there's a lot of home buyers out there right now, Tracy.
We do. We've been busy. A lot of people reaching out, looking for their new home. So we're happy to help them, and, wish there were more homes on the market for them to choose from. But, when we are ready and we're working with them, we do a buyer consult. We get them making sure their financial strategy is ready to go and they know what to expect. They're ready buyers, and we really love to help them with their dreams.
So that's what we're going to dive into. We got a couple other stories first, but we're going to dive into what a home buyer needs to be thinking about this spring. If you're going to be a home buyer this spring, we're going to give you all the things you need to know. Well, okay, not everything, because there's too much. But we're going to give you a good overview of where to start and how to proceed with that. Go ahead, Trace.
We're not going to just talk about its daffodils popping up out of the ground and all of our trees are in bloom, our apricot, and then it got snowed on and all of those things.
I know. What's up with that? Yeah. Winter's back. Oh, wait, that happens every year.
Yeah. And, I know we're going to dive in, but I really want to talk about a home of the week first.
Right. Go for it.
So we have a home in coming soon status.
Mm-hmm.
It's $839,900.
As the president of the multiple listing service, what does coming soon mean?
It's in our MLS, available for realtors to see it, but it's not yet available to the public to see on all those ancillary sites. You tell me, what does it mean? That means it's not on Zillow, but we can talk about it.
It means that it's in pre-marketing status, is what, or pre ready to show status. So it's basically just an early marketing status. It's coming soon, meaning it's not ready yet to be seen. So that is something that if you have a property and you're thinking of listing it for sale and you want to start getting the word out before you're actually ready to be showing the house, you can do that. We do have that facility. You have 14 days from when you put it in coming soon to make it available to be shown. So that's something to keep in mind.
So it's in coming soon status.
I always have to go on the geek side, don't I?
And it's a really nice home that's over 4,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 2-story, backyard faces east towards the mountains, has some lovely fruit, raspberries and different fruit there. It's really beautiful. We did take photos last fall before winter, so we have the outdoor photos ready because we knew that it would be coming this spring. So that's really all we have so far is the outside photos. So that's why it's in coming soon. Next week, it will get the photos of the interior of the house. Yeah. So that's part of it, but it's $839,000. It's on Grape View Court, which is Northeast Heights, on up by Paseo, just east of Trader Joe's area.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a home, let us know. We can get you more information about that coming soon.
Great.
Okay, let's talk about getting ready for spring as a home buyer, not about daffodils.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so if you're thinking about spring, there's a lot of things you need to keep in mind. And of course, let's start with the data, Tracy.
Let's start with supply of homes for sale.
Well, that's data.
That's what I mean. It's data.
It's data.
Yeah. The supply
of homes is in the Albuquerque area is much more than last year. The reality is, though, it's much less than what we should have this time of year.
Right.
Last year was just such an anomaly. You can't compare anything to last year. And so, we do have more choices for home buyers right now compared to last year. Of course, prices are higher than last year, but there are more choices.
Sure. So what would you say would be some top reasons why someone might want to be a home buyer right now?
Oh, man. Where do we start with that?
It's the typical, right?
Yeah.
Pride of home ownership. It's a good time to start thinking about moving if you're thinking you want to move during the summer when kids are out of school, Well,
and we do see most home pending sales happen in the next 3 months.
Right.
In a seasonal pattern. Obviously, it happens all year round, but there's usually a surge this time of year, which is important for home sellers too, that, now is the time to get it out there, get it ready, and get it merchandised to sell.
Right. And so why owning a home versus renting. We've talked about this a lot. We have rent versus own calculators where we could help somebody that might be thinking, should I be renting instead of buying?
Yeah. There's always financial reasons in the sense that, you do a comparison. Okay, what's it cost to own? What's it cost to rent? And for the most part, somewhere around 2 years is your break even.
2 years of being in a purchased home is where the break even is over being a renter.
Just from a pure financial standpoint, just dollars and cents
so
only.
If someone's moving here just to work for a year and then they know they're going on to another location, like somebody we know that's working at Intel right now,
right,
that is contract labor, they're building the fab, redoing the fab. They know as soon as they're done here, they're moving to Chandler to
do that fab
or whatever.
Yeah.
That might be the case where they know they're not going to be here long enough for it to make financial sense for them to buy a house.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, you always have to add in all those other reasons, the sense of the security, a place to call your own, the ability to customize it and make it what you want, just the pride of ownership. And maybe that's a little overplayed, that whole pride of ownership thing, but it is a thing. Right. And just the sense of accomplishment for being a homeowner. So all those things matter.
Yeah. A lot of times when you're in a rental, especially if it's a single family home rental with a yard, how much do you want to put into it to put fruit trees or put a garden in? You don't even know if you'll be there to be the one that gets to harvest the fruit. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of joy in the ownership and making it your own, both inside and outside.
So let me address one of the elephants in the room in the housing market right now, which is home prices have gone up substantially over the last couple of years. We're everybody, all the pundits are saying, there'll probably be a recession, right? Sometime in the future. Hasn't happened yet. And so, that may create some fear on, okay, was this a good time to buy? Is it a good time to buy? One thing that's really interesting, in just about every recession, except for the great financial crisis of 2008-9, home prices generally go up during recessions, which is kind of interesting.
And I bet if people wanted to see a chart for that, they could send us a message and you could get them a chart.
I got a chart for that.
There's a bunch of charts for that.
There's a lot of people have reported on that, and it's all sources.
You can go back a long ways and see that historically, when there's a recession,
home prices either stay flat or go up.
Which is counterintuitive.
It is.
For us to even say that, it doesn't sound right, but that's what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the great financial crisis or the housing crisis, whatever you want to call it, 2008-9, that
I was thinking
7-8,
but okay.
Yeah. Well,
it went on.
Well, yeah. Anyway. I mean, really, everything came crashing. I hate that term. In 2008 is really when it really hit. But that's the other thing I want to say. Anybody trying to say, oh, it's 2008 all over again because home prices went up just as fast as 2008. That's the only thing that's similar. Everything else, the amount of equity homeowners have in their homes, the level of inventory, we've already talked about that, very low compared to then. The balance sheet of homeowners is much stronger, and we don't have exploding mortgages or ARMs. I call them exploding mortgages. Basically, it's like, you get this super low teaser rate, and then, a couple of years later, you have to go up to this higher rate. Those went away. All those crazy kind of financial products that were available back then in 04, 05, 06 that set us up for that problem, those things are gone.
Right.
So just, the financial situation of current homeowners is very good right now.
Yeah. So
next.
We're solid there.
Yeah.
Next, pre-approvals in 2023, what we need to know?
Probably as important or more important than ever. I mean, us as the realtor community, people that are realtors and real estate agents and loan officers understand that it makes you a cash buyer, right, Tracy, if you have a pre-approval letter.
It does. And we've talked about this on our listeners know that using a local trusted lender who has a reputation to uphold is really the best way to go. when we are competing with other buyers to get that house that just came on the market, when you have some sort of an online or out of area lender or even a big bank without a mortgage present locally, it can hurt your offer. You know, it's like having a local lender that other agents know and go, okay, good. We're going to give a little extra weight to that. It's important.
And let me just clarify something. I mean, if you are a home buyer and you're going to be getting in this market this year, it is going to be competitive for great homes that are in great areas, that are in popular areas, that are priced to the market.
It's going to be, and it already is, competitive in all types of homes. If a home isn't a great home and not in a great area or on a great street, if it's priced for the market, there's still competition for those homes.
Yeah, I mean, you compensate for a bad location and bad condition of the home by price, right?
Right, exactly. So,
but let me address just one thing there. I want to make it clear that's not all prices, because our median price now in Albuquerque is somewhere around $330,000, for example. Homes under that median that are in desirable areas, those are the ones that are going to have the most demand. As you get up in price, obviously there's just not as many buyers in the market, in that 800 and above, for example.
Right, for sure. So let's go back to pre-approval in 2023.
Yeah.
There's pre-approval and there's pre-qualified.
Yes. What's the difference?
That's my question to you.
No, my question to you, I'm going to throw it back at you. I'm going to let you answer
pre-approval versus pre-qualified. So pre-approval in my mind means, based on generally what you told us, it appears as though you're qualified for a loan. Pre-qualified to me is stronger. It means you've put in a mortgage application with the lender. They've pulled your credit. You've supplied some of the data, your taxes, your bank statements, your paycheck stubs, a few of those things to support what you've already told them. And they have verified some of those things. So when they give us that letter that's pre-qualified, it gives more weight to the credibility that you can afford the price or the terms that they put in that pre-qualified letter.
Let me throw a term out there: underwriting, right? We hear that in insurance, but we also hear it in mortgage and any type of loan application. So not all underwriting is the same, correct? There's different, what I'm getting at, there's different levels of it. So,
right. There's different stages of underwriting. It can be an
automated underwriting, or it could be a, hand done by a human being underwriting. But, somebody that's gone through at least some preliminary underwriting on their mortgage is going to be in a much better status. And if they if they do that with their lender and they include that with their pre-approval letter, that does give that pre-approval letter more weight.
Pre-qualified, yes.
Yeah, pre-qualified.
True.
No, pre-approval.
Pre-approval. Yeah.
I know. That's the point. Yeah. It's like these terms are kind of all kind of mushy.
Yeah.
And so I guess what we're getting at is you want to make sure that lender letter, the letter that you get from your lender that says, hey, you can buy this home, is as strong as it can be, which means you might have to provide some financial information up front, but you should do that if you're getting in a competitive situation.
Totally. So let's talk about things to avoid when applying for a mortgage and when you're in the process of looking for a home or under contract on a home. I can think of several things. I know this wasn't on the agenda, but
yeah. So
oh my gosh, like, don't close accounts without checking with your lender to make sure, because some people think their credit score is going to get better if they go in and close maybe a credit card or pay off something or whatever. Don't do anything unless you've talked to your lender about it.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Closing out loans, paying stuff off, moving money around between
closing accounts.
Yeah.
Bad. So closing accounts, like, especially if something's had a long history of you paying it regularly and then closing it, could really hurt your credit, right?
Yeah.
How about going and opening a credit card at Best Buy to get the new appliances for your kitchen?
Yeah, no.
A washer, dryer, fridge.
Yeah,
right?
No.
Don't open new credit, right?
A new car, a new truck.
That's where I was going next. Go buy a new vehicle and put it on credit.
Yeah, there's some
finance
lenders,
and auto.
There's some great things about out there that lenders put out, that the 10 commandments of mortgage, the don't do's of mortgage, and stuff like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
And lenders usually go through that with you when you start the process with them.
Yeah.
So just a a sidebar here for us. But
and Tracy, I just want to remind everybody this Tigo and Tracy Venturi with the Venturi Group of
Real Broker.
Real Broker. I'm going to have to pause because we've changed brokerage and think about that for a second. But if you want to reach us, we're at 505-448-8888.
And we're always happy to be here on the Kiva on Saturday mornings.
We are.
It's a great thing for us. We love to talk real estate. You said at the beginning of our show, Tigo, how, a half hour talking about real estate. And I thought, yeah, we talk about real estate all the time.
Well, I know.
But it's something we love, we're passionate about, and we love to share our knowledge about real estate.
We talk about it publicly a half hour every weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so we've been talking about, home buyers and what home buyers should be thinking about. And, if you're listening to this, you're not a home buyer. Well, and you run into somebody that's thinking of buying, share this information with them because, educated home buyers is important. We see many times people jump into it and they just kind of don't even know where to start. And we're here to help people and educate. We're not, many times we're called real estate salespeople, but really we're educators, right? We're consultants, and that's what we want to do. Facilitators, yeah.
So I'm going to jump back into things to avoid after applying for a mortgage.
Oh, you got more.
Don't change bank accounts.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't deposit large amounts of cash into your bank before speaking to your lender or your bank.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one, right? Because there are a lot of people who don't keep all of their money in a banking institution. And we actually went to a house once where they wanted us to just take a bunch of cash they had.
Mattress money?
Yeah, mattress money. I don't remember if it was for their earnest money or something. And we're like, title companies won't take cash, but also be careful depositing it because there's that rule. If you deposit over 10,000 cash, you're going to get audited, right? Where did all that?
Well, yeah. Any money in the account when you're applying for a mortgage, you just have to document where it's coming from because what they're trying to avoid, especially if somebody's really tight on down payment and stuff, they can't receive a loan. So if somebody says, "Hey, I'll give you, $10,000 and you just pay me off later," kind of do it on the side, that's not allowed,
right?
Unless it's somehow documented because they have to show that you have a debt.
Yep. And one other, don't co-sign for any other loans. And obviously, if you are a co-signer for other loans, you would put that on your loan application so that everything can be dealt with.
Yeah.
Make sure you put everything you can think of on that loan application that might come up along the way. But the best plan is to talk with your lender and work with them very closely on everything. Anything you might want to move money around, open credit, move something, close something, talk to your lender first.
Okay, we've beat up the lending thing and the lending process, and I think there's a reason we spend a lot of time on it because that's usually where the breakdown happens. Because shopping for homes, looking at homes online, looking at homes and touring homes and open houses and all that stuff, that's the fun stuff, right?
Right.
And sometimes the financial piece and getting all those ducks in a row can create issues. So Tracy, once okay, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say one other thing in this whole process is planning for your down payment, right?
Oh, we're back to money again?
Yeah, sorry. But planning for your down payment. So, credit score and how much you're going to put down can make a big difference in what type of loan you're getting, right?
Right.
And sometimes, you might have somebody who wants to gift you some money so that you have the more down payment to help offset something. And again, it's talk with your lender, but planning your down payment as well as closing costs. A lot of times we start working with someone who hasn't bought a house before and they're thinking down payment, but they're not thinking about the other costs involved in buying a house. Right?
Okay, let's just run through this real quick. So down payments can be as low as
nothing, VA loan,
you're VA,
right, or $500 out of pocket. We have a program we're going to talk about in a few minutes. That's for a down payment assistance program. But
for the most part, FHA loans are 3.5%. You can get conventional loans that are 3, 5, 10, 20%. And the reason I say that, and I think people that listen to us know this, but there's a myth out there that, people need 20% down. And that's a very rare occurrence, actually.
That's an archaic thing, really, these days.
Yeah, so it's the down payment, but then you're also going to have some closing costs. You have to prepay for insurance. You have to prepay for some taxes potentially, and you're going to have some other costs related to putting the loan together, right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Like maybe the inspections on the property you're going to be paying for.
So think about maybe what, 1 or 2%, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Something
the
like
price.
that.
Depends
Sure,
on the
sure.
purchase price, of course.
So Tracy, before we jump to that story, I just want to wrap this up. If somebody again is thinking about buying this spring, it is going to be a busy market. It's already looking that way. You need to be ready. Again, like I said, the shopping for homes online and looking at all that, that's the fun part, but you got to get those other things in row, because you don't want that home to pop up one day on your Zillow search and you go, oh my gosh, I need that home, and you haven't got that other stuff ready to go, and it could be gone, right?
Right. Exactly.
So give us a shout if you're interested in helping, us helping you set up a home search or whatever you need to do. Okay.
There's a program coming out not until March 27th.
So this is brand new.
The brand new, hot off the press, very significantly
Not
hot off the press.
That's just 10 days from now.
It's called Home Forward. It's
9 days from
a
now.
new program for non-first-time home buyers.
And wait, this is through the
New Mexico Housing Finance Authority.
New Mexico Housing Finance?
Mortgage Financing Authority. Housing.
Yeah, MFA is what we always call them, right?
Yeah, Mortgage Finance Authority.
Yeah.
The Home Ownership Department. So it's called Home Forward. It's a combination of a first mortgage loan and an optional down payment assistance second mortgage loan. And it is available to non-first-time home buyers as well as first-time home buyers who may not meet the guidelines for the first home bond program. So without going into all the
complicated, but
details, that means there's one more option out there of how to get help with your down payment to be a home buyer. Right. Obviously, there's income limits. This is not for the high income earner. Right. This is to help people get into home ownership. And it's awesome that we're going to have one more avenue to do that.
It's good. There's been a lot of conversation in the political world about the housing shortage in Albuquerque, the housing shortage in the country, really, in New Mexico and the country in general. And I mean, I've seen data that says we're anywhere from 1 million to 6 million homes short in the United States, or housing units that could, includes rentals as well. But affordability has been a big conversation because, a lot of people got priced out of the market because of, the rapid price appreciation we had from really the end of 2019 all the way now through till today.
Right.
Really, it has slowed down in the last quarter or so, but we had that one year we had like 17-18% price appreciation.
Right.
But what I wanted to talk about real quick was affordability. That's been the big question big comment, is what do we do about affordability? Affordability is getting out of whack. And affordability is out of whack. It's tough. There's, our affordability levels are at the lowest we've seen in a really, really long time. Meaning when we talk about affordability, it's okay, how much income do you make and what's the cost of home ownership? What
portion of that income would go towards your home, ownership, right?
Yeah. And so I did some searching. National Association of Home Builders does this really great analysis where they break down 230 markets in the country, 230 different areas, and they put a ranking on that market for affordability. They look at both the cost of housing, cost of taxes, all that stuff, as well as what the median income is for that market. So, it depends. So it's not just pure cost. And the bad news is it's not very good. The bad news is it's as bad as it's been in a long time. The good news is Albuquerque is one of the better.
Yay! We're more at the top of a good list.
Yeah, exactly. In the sense, now we rank. Let's see, we rank 126 out of 235, so it's right in the middle.
Right.
So that doesn't sound good. You got to understand, most of that 120 is east of the Mississippi, right? You start going, west, like us compared to Colorado Springs, which is one of our comparable markets. It's we're much more affordable. Dallas is another market. I don't know why we get compared to, but we do. We're much more affordable. El Paso, get this. Now, El Paso's housing costs are quite a bit, not quite a bit, but are less there here than Albuquerque. Let's see, give you an example. So El Paso, 243,000 is the median price based on this data, and Albuquerque with 300,000. So our homes are more expensive, but when you look at it from a median family income, Albuquerque comes out better because we're higher than that. Phoenix, we're way better. San Antonio, another market we get compared to sometimes for some reason, we're better. Tucson, which is probably the most comparable market that we hear about, very similar size. Well, El Paso and Tucson are very similar size to the Albuquerque metro, and we are more affordable than both those markets. Obviously,
Awesome.
we're more affordable than most of the California markets too.
Totally.
So, okay, it's not great, but better than most.
Totally. So we're coming to the end of our time here
Yes,
today.
we are.
I just want to remind everybody we do have several houses that were newly put on the market. So if you're interested in new houses that have hit the market, give us a call, 448-8888. And if you have things you want us to talk about, let us know that too. We're with Real Broker and Tigo and Tracy. We're always happy to be here on Saturday morning with you to share real estate.
And if you want to get market updates, follow my YouTube or follow our YouTube channel. I'm always putting market updates up there. Just kind of try to do some shorts every week. Like on Monday generally is when I do it, just to give a quick look at the market. So if you're in the market, either buying or selling, they're a great way just kind of get a sense of what's going on from week to week. So it's Venturi Realty Group, and you can find us on YouTube as well. So
great.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.